Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 12, Episode 13, Showdown in Smashville. This is also the Season 12 finale episode. You know, I used to hate when a season of Housewives was only 13 episodes, but now I feel like it's just the right amount. I think a 13 episode season followed by like a 90-minute reunion, just one, would be perfect. All right, so let's just get into it. We are still in Nashville, or I guess Smashville, whatever you want to call it. It is the next morning. Everyone's just waking up. Dolores has hired a chef to come and cook breakfast for everybody. It's like their last full day. She tells Frank that she has planned for everyone to ride one of those bikes that has a bar in the middle. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. It's like, it looks like everybody's sitting on like bar stools up at the bar, and the bar is in the center, but you have pedals and everybody's pedaling even no matter what direction they're sitting in, and it's just like one big bicycle. So Frank goes, "That sounds like fun." And Dolores said, "Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be a fun day, Frank." And he goes, "Why?" She said, "Margaret was on fire last night when I went into her room, and I don't think it's gonna go away today." Frank's like, "Oh my God." Melissa and Joe are in their room, and they talk about how Teresa's apology was pretty good for Teresa, even though she specifically omitted the one person who she attacked verbally and physically by shoving plates and glasses and silverware into her. You know, one of these times someone is going to really get hurt. Somebody is going to shove a plate of stuff at someone else, and a glass is going to break and severely cut them, or like a fork is going to go in somebody's eye. I mean, there's going to be a serious injury one day. Anyway, like I said, Melissa and Joe think that her apology was good for her. And Melissa said, "Yeah, but Teresa came in hot again. Like she was coming at me." Joe's like, "I know." In Jackie and Evan's room, Jackie's telling him, when Teresa comes blowing into the room with all this negative energy, part of me shuts down when that happens. In her confessional, she said she really is struggling with, her assignment. She said, it's like I have the angel on one shoulder saying, you need this to be healthy. And then the devil on the other shoulder saying, you're never going to be thin again. Okay, so most everybody is kind of milling around in the kitchen. Breakfast is made. They're eating. Dolores asks if everyone's going to do the bike ride. Tiki says no, he has to work again. Then Jennifer asks, "Is Teresa coming?" And Dolores said, "Last I heard, but I haven't talked to her today." Then we see Melissa and Joe. They're still in their bedroom, and now they're FaceTiming with Teresa. Joe, "Last night was nice. I liked your apology." Teresa, "Yeah, you guys know me. If I apologize, it comes from the heart." Yeah, if you apologized. There was no apology for Margaret. What she did was apologize to everyone for disrupting the evening. I don't get how Joe thinks that was a good apology. Margaret and Joe are also still in their room, and they're talking, and Joe B said that wasn't an apology. Well, not to Margaret, no. And Margaret said, "You know what? Everyone gives her a participation trophy." Yeah, everything is qualified with, well, for Teresa. Like, that was a pretty good apology for Teresa. Back in Melissa and Joe's room, Teresa said, "For Margaret not to say that was sincere? Like, why would she say that?" Because it wasn't for her. Melissa goes, "Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't like a one-on-one apology with Margaret." Teresa, "I don't care. I'm not going to apologize to her." Right. So why is anybody surprised she didn't like it? Anyway, Melissa tells Teresa not to come in hot because it's their last day in Nashville. And Teresa's like, "I'm fine." So Margaret and Joe B come into the kitchen now, and there's, some playful banter between Joe B and Dolores because, he has a crush on her. And when Margaret comes in a couple minutes later, Dolores said, "Your husband made coffee for me." And she goes, "Of course he did. You're his other wife." Then we learn that Frank used to own massage parlors. I mean, not that I'm super surprised, but Jennifer goes, "What kind of massage parlors were they, Frank?" And Frank goes, "Good ones." Hey guys, remember when Dolores used to be part owner of a gym? A gym. Whatever happened with that? Anyway, people start talking about what a great weekend it's been. And Margaret's like, well, obviously it was less than stellar for me. And you, Joe Gorgo, with the, it was a beautiful apology, Teresa. And Joe's like, it's a start. Jennifer, I thought it was nice. Jackie, you didn't like her apology last year, but you still accepted it. Hold on. There was nothing for Margaret to accept. As Teresa said, the apology wasn't for Margaret. Why is nobody saying this? Drives me nuts. So Jackie says, well, I accepted it because I was very nervous for what she would do to my family next. And Melissa goes, well, if there's nothing going on with your family, there's nothing she can do. So you're not good with Teresa then? And Jackie said, I haven't been good with her at all. I don't need a fake friendship in my life. And frankly, I think she's dangerous. Side note, in case you're wondering, Bill's transformation into a bro is complete. Because here he is in a backwards baseball cap and a tank top. Margaret goes, the girl comes in with no apology, and you guys all think it's great. She fat-shamed me at the table, and not one of you said a single word to her. And Dolores goes, no, I don't like that. Jennifer, no, that wasn't right. Melissa, I'll never condone that. And Margaret goes, then why wouldn't any one of you have said to her, why are you treating Margaret this way? If you all keep allowing this behavior, it's just going to continue. And Dolores goes, Margaret, it's not that we're allowing it. We're not her parents. Jennifer goes, you're right. What she said wasn't nice, but you need to take accountability too. It's not just her. They all want Margaret to admit that she's been asking a lot of questions about Louis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Margaret asked about the video. The video that they were all talking about that everybody agreed was weird. And that night, Margaret was the only one that stepped up and asked Louis about it. And then Tiki asked him about the rumor about the violence. So unless Margaret is like paying off the editors, I didn't see anything else that Margaret was asking about, more than anybody else. Anyway, Margaret said that she never said she didn't do anything, but she doesn't think whatever she did warranted that behavior. She goes, I didn't deserve that. Jennifer, can we just all agree that we don't like it when a rumor gets shed light on it? Jackie? And Jackie's like, that wasn't her shedding light on a rumor that was already out there. That was something she pulled out of thin air. And then Jennifer goes, Joe, help me out here. Is that not the same? Why is she asking Joe? Joe's like, I don't know. Everybody else goes, no, it's not the same. Jackie's like, she tried to destroy me with something she fabricated. And Margaret goes, this is actual documentation that people have put out there. It's all over the internet, and everybody has seen it. See, that's my point. Why Teresa thinks that Margaret did the investigative work, went to the exes, and then, drew the stories out. No. Not even Louis thinks that. Louis recognizes that he has some thirsty exes who want the limelight right now. That's what I mean. Like it's not like Margaret tried to create a story here by digging into Louis's past. In Melissa's confessional, she makes what I think is a pretty good point. She said, I believe that Margaret's intentions are good and that she cares about Teresa, but it's her delivery. She comes off as angry instead of concerned, and then that's when Teresa's walls go up. I mean, I think she might be onto something there. Anyway, Melissa says, well, where are we now? Because, as a friend group, we're divided. And Margaret said, I'm not divided with you or anybody here. I'm only divided with Teresa. I'm not speaking to her. Dolores is like, all right, then don't be around her. Okay, next, everyone gets to the bicycle thing and they all get on. Teresa and Louis come walking up and Teresa's like, hi, love, love, love. Hi, Margaret. And Margaret says hello. She doesn't sit near her. Everybody kind of made sure that the only seats left weren't right next to Margaret. In Teresa's confessional, she said, I'm not gonna let Margaret bother me. I'm just gonna enjoy the day. Okay, so I couldn't hate this bicycle driver anymore. It's too much hyped up energy. I can't with it. I can't with people like that. All right, so when we get to a red light, we're going to take a drink. I want you to all yell red light, and then we'll drink. Gentlemen, let's hear you do it. And they're like, red light. Great. Yeah, he hasn't stopped screaming since they got on the bike. All right, well, thankfully that's over. Now we are heading into Hattie B's for lunch. It's like a famous chicken place or something. Everybody is seated at like 2 tables that are next to each other. Teresa and Margaret are at opposite tables. Joe and Melissa are at the table with Louie and Teresa and Dolores and Frank. And Joe Gorga said, they say they have the hottest chicken here. And Louie goes, oh, you love hot chicken, babe. And Melissa goes, you get the hottest chicken every night. And for some reason, Louie laughs really hard at this. I don't even get it. Melissa's calling herself a chicken?
Get the hottest chicken every night.
Is that, like, sexy? Okay. All right, when the server gets there, Joe asks what the hottest chicken is, and she said, oh, that would be get the cluck out. And he said, all right, bring a giant plate to each of our tables because we're going to have a contest. Everything's a contest. Louie is all in. He is broing really hard this afternoon. Jennifer's money is on Bill, and I would have to agree with her for 2 reasons, really. One, he's a vampire, and I'm not even sure they really have taste buds. And 2, Tiki's not there. Otherwise, like, my bet is always on Tiki. I think Tiki, 9 times out of 10, will outperform all these other bros. Jackie goes out of her comfort zone and orders grilled chicken tenders, and she pushes herself even further to share a coleslaw with Tracy. I'm not making fun. I mean, I know it's a lot for her, but it's just like, that would be me on a diet. All right, so Melissa is drunk, or pretending? I don't know, guys. I have no real basis for this, but lately I've been feeling like Melissa pretends to be drunk sometimes. I think maybe she thinks it's cute, or because she gets all like, you know, humping people and who wants to make out with me? And like, I don't know. I just, for some reason, think that she thinks it's adorable. Anyway, so she tells everyone, I'm going to need you all to be on your best behavior. She's telling the other table. And then back at her table, she goes, Teresa, I'm going to need you to behave because we need one fun lunch on this trip. Teresa goes, I'm fine. I mean, I got no problem sitting next to Margaret. In fact, I want to talk to Margaret. And Dolores goes, you want to talk to her right now? No, Dolores. Why would you say that? Don't even suggest that. Teresa wants to ask her why she wants to hurt her and Louie. Teresa's like, yeah, I do. Gets up. She's walking over there, like, to the other table. She's, like, asking Margaret if she can talk to her. Can she sit down? And Joe Gorga is with me on this one. He's like, no. Teresa. We'll do it later. Come on, we'll do it later, okay? Talk to her later. Let's have fun. Nope. Teresa wants to talk to her now. So she goes, can we talk? And Margaret goes, I don't think this is an appropriate time. Teresa, well, I want to talk now. And Margaret's like, do we need to ruin another meal? Teresa, Margaret, it's fucked up that you've been talking about Louie for months now. It hurts my feelings because I thought we were really friends. Margaret's like, Teresa, to me, this is not about Louie. I feel like this is a very large conversation, and I don't think now is appropriate. Teresa's like, I'll do it when I want to do it. Okay. Great. Margaret's like, no. Wait a minute. Teresa, I'm doing this with you right now. Margaret's like, it's very emotional. Finally, Joe's like, Teresa, we'll do this later. And for some reason, she agrees and goes back to her table. Margaret thinks everything's always on Teresa's terms. And Jennifer's like, but it was nice that she wanted to come over and talk, right? Oh my God, Jennifer. She's not one of Olivia's little friends. She's a grown woman. Margaret thinks that she forgives Teresa too easily. And we are reminded about the time that she egged on Danielle to pull her ponytail. Yeah, do it. Well, it is time for the Hot Wings contest. The worst idea I believe the bros have ever had. Evan's not even going to join in because he is at the table with Bill, and he saw Bill earlier dipping his french fries in that sauce. So I don't blame him, because it's like, if I'm not going to win, why would I even punish myself? Okay, the contest begins, and Louis is the first one out. Yeah, I think it's like his first bite. His mouth is just like killing him. He's spitting it out. Frank is weeping, like openly weeping. His whole face is sweating. His eyeballs are burning. His nostrils are burning. His mouth is burning. And Frank is the second one out. Why? Why do this? Humans are dumb. They really are. Now it's just Joe Gorga and Bill. And Joe Gorga is struggling a little bit. Bill looks like he's eating ice cream. Cool as a cucumber, no facial expression. I mean, he is sweating a little, but it's not bothering him in the least. And Joe Gorga, you could tell he's hurting a little. Damn, Jennifer is competitive. She's like taunting Joe Gorga. You're turning red? My husband's not turning red. Which, I mean, that's not really fair. If he had actual blood coursing through his veins, he might be. Anyway, Joe Gorga's like drooling, and he suggests that both he and Bill just call it a tie. Yeah. Bill, being a gentle bro, says, yeah, let's call it a tie. And then he takes another bite. Clearly, he could have gone on for a long time. Okay, everyone gets back to the house, and they're either taking naps or in intense pain because of the contest. Other than Evan, who wasn't in the contest, and he's now in the backyard doing yoga. Frank's in his room thinking he might throw up. Joe Gorga's sick. Jennifer and Bill are kind of like doing their cowboy roleplay thing again. They're having a good time on this trip, I think. Okay, so now it is dinner time, and everybody's getting ready, putting makeup on, and Jennifer says to Bill, how's your stomach? Bill goes, good. He's in a sport coat drinking a cup of coffee. Jennifer goes, how about the other end of you? And Bill goes, that'll be tomorrow, baby girl. For today, we're holding strong. Frank, my stomach still hurts, Dolores. Dolores, my stomach hurts just from the drama today. What drama today? I mean, it turned out okay. Joe kind of thwarted it by, wrangling Teresa back to their table. So I don't know what is causing Dolores' stomach ache. Frank goes, yeah, I was surprised she went over to the table. Then we're in Margaret and Joe's room, and Margaret says, you know what it was? She came at me so hard the other night. And what, I'm just supposed to forgive her like nothing ever happened? Margaret, she wasn't coming over to ask for forgiveness. At the hotel, Teresa tells Louis, I don't care. I'll talk to her in front of everybody. And tonight, I want to make it very clear that we're in our love bubble and no one's gonna pop it. No one wants to pop your stupid bubble. Ew. No one wants to go anywhere near that bubble. So a couple of times now, Margaret has made it clear that she's actually hurt that Teresa thinks she wants to hurt her. Margaret's like, we're friends. Why would she ever think that of me? Like, that hurts my feelings. And I do wonder if Teresa ever asks herself that question. Does it even make sense that Margaret would do this? Oh, Margaret's wearing that to dinner. When she was getting ready in her room, I thought that was like just shapewear or something. We get a lovely flashback to earlier in the afternoon while Joe Gorga is trying to vomit over the toilet, and he can't do it, and he tells Frank, my finger's not long enough. So Frank runs and goes and gets one of those dildos, and apparently he had no trouble using that. Now, we did not see that because that would be a very different show, but yeah, turns out all those dildos came in handy. All right, so now everyone loads into the two vans and they head over to the restaurant. This place is nice. It looks like they're outdoors, and maybe it's like little cabanas or something, and there's live music. It looks nice. All the ladies are in one cabana, all the bros are in the other. Jackie asks Margaret if she's going to talk to Teresa tonight, and she goes, I don't know. Louis and Teresa finally get there, and Louis is in full-on rhinestone cowboy. So pretty much right away, Louis asks Joe if he can talk to him for a second. And Joe's like, yeah, okay. So they go over to the other side of the restaurant and find a little quiet place to talk. And Joe's like, what's up? Louis, I just wanted to take this moment to thank you for being so genuine with me, and you really helped me get a fair shake with the other guys. Now, with the girls, it's been difficult because I feel like there's so much judgment about my past. And the only person I want to judge me in my life, honestly, is your sister. I don't want this to sound controlling, but I need her. Really? Teresa? You need her? Like, for what? Anyway, Louis says that he is going to take her to Europe next month and propose to her. And Joe goes, really? So Louis said that he wants to respect Joe like he would Teresa's father. And he is basically asking Joe for his blessing. I actually do like that Louis is asking him, because this is like such a 180 from anything that Joe Giudice, world-renowned inventor of a massager, for, for your butt. So Joe thanks him for asking him. And then he says, I'm going to be honest. When we first met you, I said, I love this guy. And then all this stuff came out about you. He said, and I haven't asked you anything about it because when I've gotten involved with her ex in the past, it just caused a lot of problems for me. But she's my only sister, and she's been through hell and back. And I don't ever want her to have to go through anything like that again. So what's up with your past? Louis, I got divorced when I was 35, and I was pretty confused. I think that's pretty believable. And then I went on to have a couple of toxic relationships. You know, desperate, thirsty, low-life exes. Wow. So Joe, I'm pretty damn proud of him. He said, okay, so, you could have a toxic relationship, but these rumors keep coming. There's obviously some truth to those stories, right? Okay, don't get me wrong. I am so here for this conversation, but this is so much more probing than Margaret ever was. I mean, he's actually saying, come on, some of this stuff is true, right? Margaret never said that. Margaret just asked him about the video, which he then lied about. So the ladies are kind of noticing that, across the restaurant, Joe and Louis are having a really serious conversation. And they kind of all start talking about how they don't like that Louis is chalking everything up to his thirsty, crazy exes. I should mention that if it wasn't obvious, Teresa is not sitting in the cabana with them right now. So Louis says, I won't say I was some crown of a man, but, what it is I was just trying to figure things out. And by the confused look on his face, he's still trying. What does that mean? Trying to figure things out? With your fist? In front of her kids? Anyway, he says that while doing that, trying to figure things out, he made some mistakes. And I take ownership of that. But I was not abusive. That he denies. Was I perfect? No. But then I met your sister, and my life had changed. Well, I believe that. I believe your life changed a lot when you met his sister. Now he tears up, and he talks about the number of sleepless nights he's had while trying to manifest the perfect woman into his life. Was he using Nona and Nono? Because, God bless him, rest in peace, but they're not that good. Maybe it's because they haven't been in the afterlife that long, but these two still have a lot of kinks to work out. I mean, they'll answer your prayers, but you need to be very specific because, their hearing isn't what it once was. So they get a couple of things wrong. All right, so Louis tells Joe that he promises he will always be there for Teresa. He'll never let her down. He will love her every second of every day and provide her with treats every time she sits and shakes hands. Meanwhile, Teresa's getting food at the table with Tiki because, she's got no problem with Tiki. He's the one person she will never blame for asking Louis a question. Anyway, so Joe said, well, if you're asking me for her hand, then yes, I give you my blessing. And they hug. And now the guys are wondering what's going on with those two. And Frank says, I bet he's asking to marry Teresa. Joe B's like, no. Yeah, Joe B. Yeah. Now Joe and Melissa are talking to Louie and Teresa, and Teresa says that, you know, she just wants to ask Margaret, like, why she, you know, wants to hurt her and Louie. And Melissa's like, well, she's right there. So Teresa goes over to Margaret and asks, can we talk? And Margaret said, sure, where do you want to go? So those two go over to a quiet table, and now the bros are speculating, like, what's the over-under on Teresa going ballistic? The ladies are also talking in their cabana, and the general consensus there seems to be that both of them need to own their Okay, so Teresa starts by saying, I guess today wasn't the right time or whatever, but like, obviously, you know, I'm not happy about you talking about Louie. If you did have a concern, you should have come to me with it. And Margaret goes, I did. As soon as I saw everything out there, I said, Teresa, you need to get ahead of this. Okay, that's not what she meant, Margaret. Not you bringing it up in front of the cameras day one of filming, telling her that Louie needs to address that video. Listen, I'm not forgetting that episode 1 of last season was Teresa at Evan's birthday party going table to table. Did you hear about Evan? Trying to get someone to confirm that rumor that she heard. That's why I say karma acted swiftly on this one. But what Margaret is doing now, you know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Margaret shouldn't have done it that way either. So Margaret, like in her defense, is saying, you know how I always like to get ahead of everything. I mean, come on, the day I met you, I told you that I had an affair with the contractor and I cheated on my husband. So I said to you, let this guy talk about it. Honestly, she's probably right. If Louie would have addressed it right away, it kind of would have fizzled out, I think. Especially the video. All I'm hearing now about the video is that it was odd but pretty benign. I saw a little bit of it, not the whole thing. I did not see any like dragging through water and stuff. And all I saw was from the waist up, so the guys could have been naked, but they could have just been shirtless. And it was him, you know, talking to his girlfriend in the camera. And yeah, it was weird, but no big deal. But I'm admitting that there's other parts to the video that I haven't seen. But, you know, I do think that he's got the bigger platform being on this show, so he probably should have said something. He definitely shouldn't have waited, you know, 8 episodes in and then lied about it. That was dumb. But, you know, it's not Margaret's call either way. Whether he talks about it or doesn't, not for Margaret to decide. So Teresa said, yeah, but unlike you, I didn't want that stuff out there. And Margaret's like, yeah, but it already was. Everybody's already seen it. So Teresa goes, yeah, but I didn't like my friends talking about it and, you know, my friends making light of it. Okay, what she meant was bringing it to light, not making light of it. And Margaret said, pretending it never happened is bringing light to it. He could have said, I've had some bad relationships in the past. I've got a great girl now, and I'm working on myself. And Teresa goes, that's what he did. He is working on himself. And Margaret said, no. He said this woman stabbed her husband with a butcher knife. So then, this is where things, like, change a little bit for me. Teresa asks Margaret to put herself in her shoes. She said, there's been one thing after another on social media, and we've been dealing with this for a year now, ever since I started dating him. And now she starts crying, and she said, I just met this guy. I find somebody I like, and then this happens. And I don't understand what's happening to me or why I'm feeling empathy for Teresa right now, but I am. That's so relatable. Yeah, you know, Joe's right. She's been through hell and back. And, you know, whether she deserved Joe Giudice or she just had such low self-esteem that she put up with him, whatever it was, she was in an abusive relationship. Maybe not physically, although I don't know, but definitely emotionally and verbally. And to the point that this guy didn't hide it from us, from the cameras. To me, I assume that something worse is even happening when the cameras aren't rolling. So my heart breaks for her a little bit when she says, I finally met a guy I like, and now this is happening. Now stuff is coming out about his past or him being abusive. She's probably thinking to herself, oh my God, why? You have to kind of feel sorry for her, right? I don't know why I'm I don't know why I'm empathizing. Like, what is this sorcery that's happening right now that's making my brain feel things for her? Anyway, Margaret said, Teresa, I can understand that. And Teresa's like, I guess it was just a build-up. And Margaret goes, but you were never transparent about it. And Teresa said, because I'm on the defense. Seriously, though, guys, is it just me, or is Teresa incredibly insightful and self-aware? I can't believe she understands that she was being defensive. Anyway, Margaret says, why would you ever think that I would want to hurt you and Louis? And Teresa said, I just didn't feel like it was sincere. I really didn't. Yeah, but why though? Like, that's the question I would want as a follow-up. Why couldn't you believe that I was sincerely concerned for your happiness and safety, you know? All this bad stuff is coming out about your boyfriend, and I care about you, so of course I'm going to question it. Yeah, I think if I was Margaret, I would ask her why. Anyway, Margaret just said, of course it's sincere. Teresa's like, you know, the way you approached me when I first met you, I fell in love with you. We cried over my mom, and we see some flashbacks to that. Teresa's like, you just came to me from such a loving place. Like, that's the Margaret I know, not the Margaret who's talking behind my back. That's the thing, though. Margaret's not the only one talking behind your back. Margaret's the only one who will say it out loud to you, as well as talking about it behind your back. But you know, the others are kind of getting a pass because they're not confronting her. Anyway, now the ladies are kind of armchair quarterbacking it all from their cabana. And Melissa goes, I told her, Margaret is truly happy for you and Louis. And Jackie said, Margaret never said anything bad about Louis. She voiced to Teresa what we were all saying behind her back. Thank you, Jackie. Oh no, abort. Stop, Margaret. This is going off the rails, and you were this close to kind of coming to a peaceful place with Teresa. Teresa says, my real friends, Jennifer and Dolores, they know me. They know what ticks me off and what doesn't. And Margaret says, no. They said they lowered their standards for you. Okay, that's wrong. They didn't say that. You said that. Margaret goes on. They're like, you have to treat Teresa differently. She had a horrible life. Louis is her lifeline. What are you doing? Yeah, Dolores did say those things, but that was like in defense of Teresa. And I really don't like what Margaret's doing right now at all. Why would Margaret tell Teresa this? Does she want trouble between Dolores and Jennifer and Teresa? Is that it? Is she like trying to set things up for next season? I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, at the very least, it's mean, but for sure it's stupid. Teresa is finally letting her guard down, acting rationally, being a little vulnerable. And I think you're like taking advantage of it. I don't get it. So Teresa goes, who said that? And Margaret goes, everybody. I said I'm going to hold her accountable because I'm not putting up with this bullshit. Teresa goes, I don't want to treat you like that. Well, now at this point, Margaret throws everything Teresa has ever done to her in her face. You called me trout mouth. You fat shamed me. You got mad when I wouldn't wear your workout clothes. You said my ass was jiggly. You called me white trash. A fucking whore. I'll see you next Tuesday. You spilled an entire table on me. You treated me like dirt. Teresa, oh, yeah, I was mad. Margaret, what have I done to you? Teresa, you're always coming after me and Louis. Margaret, all I've ever done was be good to you. I stood up for you nonstop. Teresa, well, I mean, I would say ditto. Margaret, ditto? Yeah, like vice versa. Vice versa? Yeah, like same. Same? Anyway, now we've got everyone's attention because Margaret is getting so loud. Quickly, Louis is by her side and Joe B is by Margaret's side. Margaret gets up. You know what, Teresa? I've championed you from day one. You have broken my heart and I am f***ing done. And she huffs off. Louis gets very interesting here. He says, thank you. Have a good night. Margaret goes back to the ladies' cabana. They're all like, what happened, Margaret? Are you okay? She's telling them it was a very emotional conversation. I was almost crying. But for her to treat me like shit and shame me. Oh, wait, what? Time out. She was very calm right now. She didn't treat you like shit and she didn't shame you in this conversation. I found Teresa to be very rational, actually, surprisingly so. So my assessment is that Margaret is pulling a Teresa. She provoked herself. Back over by Teresa and Louis. Louis is telling Teresa that she's making you work too hard for an apology. Yeah, because she never got one from your girlfriend, bro. This is where I think a little of past Louis, you know, like pre-namaste Louis, kind of comes bubbling up a little bit. He says, I'm not here to audition for Margaret. Margaret's starving to be in your seat, babe. Ew. You're gross, Teresa. I know. Get over yourselves. Louis, I want to go home. I want to get a jet and go home. This is too much. Like, seriously, I don't need this. He's having a little tantrum, basically. And Teresa's like, all right, I know, okay, I know. And he says, I work hard. You never have to work a day in your life. Teresa, I know. Louis, how lucky is that? Ew. Stop now. You are gross, sir. Let's go. Let's go move into our 50,000 square foot house. All right, babe? Yeah, maybe head straight to the backyard for some meditation, babe. Joe B's like, what the fuck? Then Louis like, I love you. He's making this huge spectacle. He's weird. He's weird. He's odd. I'm worried about Teresa because, yes, as problematic as Teresa is, I do think it stems from a lack of self-worth. I really do. When somebody doesn't feel good about themselves, they lash out. She's lashing out all the time. She doesn't make sense. And part of it is I think she knows she maybe isn't the brightest person and all that. But, you know, I'll tell you what. I don't know what Louis does for a living. I suppose I could go look that up. I don't know if I care enough, to be honest. But I don't know what he does. But him saying that you don't ever have to work to her, you know, she could say that to you too, bro. You don't ever have to work again, and you could live very comfortably off of her money. Just, ew. Jackie in her confessional said, you know, Teresa worked very hard to try and convince us all that Louis is a great guy, but maybe right now we're seeing his true colors. Yeah, I agree. Maybe. In any case, Teresa is like super calm right now. I don't know what kind of upside down world we're living in, but Teresa is the calm one. So that's how bad it is. Okay, as this is the season finale, it is now time for the final cards on each of the ladies. And the first one is Teresa, because they're leaving. Hers says, Teresa and Louis went to Greece on vacation. She finally got asked a question she didn't mind answering. She said yes. Yes, well, good luck. I guess to be fair, he's still better than Joe Judas, the inventor of a massager, you know, for your ass. But still not great. Okay, next is Margaret's. Margaret is starting her own alcohol-free beverage line. She's decided to focus more on popping bottles instead of love bubbles. Again, I maintain that nobody cares about your damn love bubble. Okay, then we have Melissa. Melissa hasn't missed a football game since Antonia returned to cheer. She's so much happier shouting from the sidelines than shouting over her friends. Okay, I know I've seen a lot of comments about this on social media. And it's true. They really are scraping to find something to say about Melissa. Like, how do you wrap up Melissa's storyline? It's difficult when there isn't one. Again, this was about Antonia. Not that it isn't part of her life. It is. Your children are part of your life. And in all fairness, most of our lives aren't, you know, exciting enough to make a good story every season. It sort of speaks to her stability in her life and her relationships and stuff, right? I guess you could say, well, that's great for her, but then she shouldn't be a housewife. I mean, you know, I get it. But Melissa actually doesn't bother me. I kind of like her. Okay, next is Dolores's. Dolores moved out of her townhome and back home with Frank and the kids. She's finished the renovations and moved on to her next project, her new boyfriend. I hope Dolores is back, and I hope we get to see him. Because she also deserves a better guy. Not that David wasn't a good guy, but he was married to his work, and, you know, it is what it is. Next is Jennifer. Jennifer and Bill continue to work on strengthening their marriage. Bill is working on more communication. Jennifer is working on less retaliation. I don't know, whatever they were doing in Nashville seemed to be working. Maybe they need to, you know, keep breaking out the cowboy hats every once in a while. And finally, Jackie. Jackie is making progress with her eating disorder. With Evan's love and support, she's feeling healthier and happier. I mean, that wasn't much of a storyline either, but it was a real thing, I believe, that was happening in her life. Hey, did you guys notice in the most recent confessionals with Jackie, her face looks a little bit fuller? She looks good. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I do feel like maybe she's getting healthier. So I hope that's the case. Anyway, that is it for me. You know, it will be interesting to see how Louis is in the reunions. I hope he'll be there. I mean, they usually bring the guys out for Jersey because they're such an integral part of the show. I don't know. I'd like to see if he addresses some of the things that weren't addressed. Because, you know, all those things that drive me crazy, like, why didn't they ask this? Why didn't they ask him that? You got to leave it up to us, the viewers, because we will get down into it and ask the real questions. So I hope that he's confronted with a couple things. I'd like to see how he answers. For example, why did you say you were trying to get rid of her, but you were proposing to her in that video? Right? Anyway, next week starts the reunions, so I will be there recapping. I hope you guys are there too. Thank you for being here today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more just like this, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell, and you will be notified every time I have a new video. As always, I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you click on one of the links in my description box below, I will earn a portion of any qualifying items that you purchase. All right. That's it. See you next week, guys. Bye.